Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, which is kind of my Friday because it's the end of my podcasting week. After my Wednesday show, I don't podcast again until Sunday, so I get a couple of days off for behind the mic. It's kind of fun. So we are going to record a show here with Matt. You've met Matt from Park Snacker, so he is here. We've done a few shows together. So we have a pro in the studio with me tonight, so we're going to have a fun show. We're going to talk Citricos tonight, I think, too.
Yes.
So Scott's tuned in. That's his jam, to scan in your notes. I love what, by the way, if you ever come on the show, notes, not big notes. You don't have to some people have given me, seriously, my master's paper that I wrote was shorter than some people's notes from their trip. I don't need them that long because I can't read all that when I'm doing an interview.
Just highlights, break it down, simple
outline.
Yeah. Like you did current events back in the day. Who, what, when, where, why.
Yes. Oh yeah, Lisa, how about I got a new hat for Saturday. Got this just today and from Amazon during the Amazon Prime Day sale yesterday. Boom, roll Tide. So they better win so I can wear this probably Saturday night. It's my trivia that I'm going to. Let's see here. All right. Oop, let me hit this. Got to get cracking because speaking of trivia, got to help. I'm going to see what's going on with that because we got baskets to put together and all kinds of stuff. All right, let me get the levels right and then we'll get going. Riley's chewing on a big fat bone over there that's super loud.
Am I coming in clearly? I'm good.
You are good.
Right, perfect.
We get our levels right here. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yep, looks like it. Let me see. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yep, good. Leap. And the most important thing, what number are we on? I think 73. Yep.
It's funny. Every time I come on, I jump 500 episodes, from the previous one that I've been on. There's just so many.
I know, seriously. I mean, I've had people it's been 1,000 episodes. Oh, 1,000 episodes. Have we done that many shows? It kills me.
Yeah.
I guess we have. It's not 2,200. It's I guess that's a possibility. I think of people that were on at episode 300. Are you still alive? It's so, it is so crazy. All right, here we go. Let's do this. All right. 2173. Welcome to episode 2173 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great weekend and your team, whether it was in baseball, football, or even hockey, because hockey started this weekend. I can't believe it. It's that time of year. Hopefully your team had some good wins. And if you happen to suffer a loss, which again, I record the show before the weekend starts, so I don't know how my weekend went at this point. Hopefully it wasn't too painful, but I'm telling you what, coming from a Mizzou fan, most college football weekends are painful, so nothing shocks me at this point. But it was a bye week for Mizzou, so at least my Tigers didn't lose this weekend. I know that much. So anyway, we are going to have a fun show today because we have a friend of the show, a returning guest. And today we're talking with Matt out in New Jersey from Park Snacker. Already getting hungry. Matt, how you doing today?
I'm great, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's bad when I see you, I start to get hungry because I think of good stuff. I think of Dole Whips and just do other people associate you with good snacks at Walt Disney World at this point?
Pretty much. Yeah. People like to go to me and be like, hey, what's good? What's bad? What should I get? So yeah, pretty much.
Because we're going to talk about your recent trip down to Walt Disney World, but how are things going with Park Snacker? Because we haven't talked about that here in a little bit. And I'd imagine with something like that, momentum growing.
Yeah. Momentum's growing. I was on your show talking about Park Snacker back, I think it was April. If you don't know what it is, it's our app that's based all around the food at Walt Disney World. You can rate, review, and explore now over 70,000 items at Disney World. So it's you can pretty much rate almost anything. The menus change every single day. So, we're always updating. We have menus on there. You can see what I'm eating, see what your friends are eating. So if you want to see everything that I ate on my trip, you could follow me at Park Snacker Matt. on, our Park Snacker. It's on iOS and Android. But yeah, things are going really well with it. We're getting just new people on it all the time, and I just love seeing what everyone's eating. I found out about a lot of new items. Yeah, it's going great. So I appreciate you asking.
Oh, no problem. It's a great tool for us, crazy Disney fans especially the runners, because we're just hitting the running season here in a couple of weeks. And I mean, the runners run to eat. I mean, that's what we
Yeah.
do. We justify, oh man, we're at mile 7. That means I get another snack. You know what? I get to have a whatever. And Disney's really been doing a bang up job, I'd say, over the past 2 years with putting
Mhm.
out these guides whenever a new season happens. Like we get what's called D-mail from Disney
Mhm.
as travel agents, and other groups get these too. And so they put out kind of like the foodies guide to the holidays, and they
Yeah.
take pictures and show you, oh, Wilderness Lodge, over at Roaring Fork for
Yes.
getting these snacks and so forth. What's got you excited for the next few months down at Walt Disney World? Some new snacks.
Honestly, we just had one night at Wilderness Lodge, and I'm so mad that I missed all of these new updates over there because they just put out the guide and everything looks phenomenal at Territory Lounge,
Yes.
at Roaring Fork. They just put out some really good desserts at Roaring Fork, and I'm just so mad that I missed all of it. So I'm not going down I'm not going down anytime soon. But I feel like if, now's the time to go to Wilderness Lodge, try all those treats and stuff. So I think, Territory Lounge, no one really talks about anymore or goes to. So I think they're really trying to bring more people in with some of the new food, the options I brought out.
Which Pam Forster's gonna be upset about that because that's her secret hidden level base. 'Cause she
Yeah.
loves Territorial Lounge,
Yeah.
and I think one of the reasons she loves it is because nobody knows about it. It's
Yeah.
like it's a boat ride from the Magic Kingdom. It's a
Mhm.
beautiful boat ride from the Magic Kingdom too, but that's why I'm excited. Roaring Fork is one of my favorite, counter service places, again, because nobody thinks about it, and now it's really kinda playing second fiddle to Geyser Point, which Geyser Point is way better. I mean, don't get me
Oh,
wrong,
so
for
good.
atmosphere, you're
First place we ate at Disney.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome, but I mean, I've seen same with you though. I've seen all the coverage and all the, the foodie guide and all the stuff they did over there. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I gotta ride like, because I'm telling myself I'll be there for Wine and Dine Race weekend. I'm all gonna be there for 2.5 days, and I'm like, is it worth a boat ride? And every time I look at it, I'm like, yeah, it probably is worth
Mhm.
a boat ride over there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. So yeah, it's good. So
Yeah.
we'll check that out on the app and see how things go. But let's
Yeah.
talk about your trip because we want to hop in here.
Heck
You
yeah.
were just down last month, just a few weeks back in
Yeah.
September. So how did this trip come together? You were there September 17th to the 24th. So how did this trip come together?
Yeah, so it was honestly a year in planning. We were supposed to go March of this past year, but we delayed it because my wife and I ended up moving. Um, so we closed in February, so it was just kind of too much to handle. So we pushed it back, and it was actually a kind of a blessing in disguise that we did it. It worked out. It was me, my wife, my 17-month-old daughter, and my mom and sister. So it was kind of good. My 17-month-old, if we went in March, she wasn't walking at all then, but at least, now she's walking, she's older, she can enjoy it a bit more. So I'm kind of happy that we ended up going in September. So, it was kind of, I guess you could say, a multi-generational trip. We got my mom, me, my wife, my sister, and now my daughter. So three generations, all of us going. My mom and my sister have not been back since 2000. I can never remember when we went, 2003 or 4. So it's been like 18, 19 years since they've gone. So, we wanted to bring them back and, come with us. So, yeah. And also to mention on the trip, my wife was pregnant as well. At the like 12, 13 week mark when we went. So, but yeah, that's kind of how it all came together. Just the family outing with the new toddler. So
Okay, first of all, congratulations to you and your wife.
thank you.
That's awesome. And when I
Yeah.
saw that you had your 17-month-old with you, when I saw mom and sister come along, when I see that, that's always such a bonus. That's such a benefit on a Walt Disney World trip where you have, so much going on, to basically just have, somebody else there to assist with a
Yeah.
young child. But when I
Mhm.
heard your wife is expecting, double bonus, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was kind of it was just comforting to have other people like for support, because if it was just you, your wife expecting, and a toddler, I mean, that can Walt Disney World can get on, overwhelming with just like a couple there, no kids, just managing each
Exactly.
other. It gets crazy. So that's helpful having other folks there, right?
Yeah, it was so helpful. And then just seeing, my mom and sister interact with, with my kid, was just, it's just so much fun. It's like those old Disney vacation planning videos, and just watching, like, I got some cute photos of, like, my mom and the granddaughter just together, and it was just fun seeing them together. So it was great to have the extra hands for sure.
That's what everybody wants, is the old videos, the old planning videos, like where
Yeah.
grandpa's dancing with the granddaughter,
Yep.
I still remember that shot. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
I remember it too.
that's
Yeah.
the shot that was in every video.
They're in the gazebo
Yeah,
somewhere. I don't even
exactly.
know where that is. Yeah.
That's exactly it was. I don't know if it was at the Grand Floridian, but it was.
I
Yeah,
have no idea.
I
Yeah.
know that is exactly the shot, because it was a gazebo. It was kind of night, and like it was just like a silhouette behind him. Yes, that was
Yep.
kind of orangey. Yeah, oh my
Yep.
god, like it's burned into our memories. It's great. That
Mhm.
you just scared me, because that's the exact shot. Mind's eye. You're like looking into my head. Okay, so let's talk about travel down there. You guys, New Jersey's where you're located. So how do you get down there and kind of your first day settling in?
Yeah, so, we flew in from New Jersey, and, my mom was flying in from Colorado, and my sister was gonna meet us the next day. So, we flew in on a Saturday, and it was great. We all, my family, my mom, we landed within 30 minutes of each other at MCO. So it was great because my mom was there to help, with bags and stuff like that, help us kind of get off the plane. And first time traveling on a plane with my toddler, and luckily my child has always been we've been blessed. She's been very easy to deal with, and she was an amazing traveler. We just kind of stocked her with food and some snacks, and she was good to go. So yeah, we got down there, we rented a car for the first time. Mike, I don't think I'm ever going to go to Disney now without renting a car.
You
This
sound
was
like you sound like Scott. That's Scott.
oh,
He rents a car every
oh
year.
my
I'm too
goodness.
cheap, but yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to pay to park, but he
Ye-
does, and he loves it.
yeah.
What's better,
So
what's better is you have a buddy that rents a car, then I don't have to pay for the car. Or
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, so we ended up saving a lot of money because we were staying on DVC points, which we don't have to pay for resort fees.
yep.
And through my company, we get like an amazing discount through Enterprise. And I just talked to my friend this past weekend who works at Enterprise, and he's like, "Dude, the contract that your company has is a joke. It was made in the '90s, and I don't understand why it's still around." But
Ride it as
but
long as you can.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's not on me. It's something, with the companies,
Exactly.
but yeah. So we rented a minivan, and we saved, a ton of money. But man, just having a car on property is just, especially with kids, is just like a life changer, because we went outside to eat from the resorts all the time. So like, if you're planning on doing that, like just like not eating at the resort, going to other resorts, which we did, it's just like so worth having the vehicle. And then, not having to worry about getting on buses at all, was great. So yeah, we rented the car. We had one night. We actually added a night onto our stay. Flights from flying Saturday to Saturday, it was a lot cheaper. So we were like, let's just go in a day early. So we got one night over at Boulder Ridge. We were in a one bedroom. So we were in the primary bedroom, and then my mom slept on the pull-out sofa. And Wilderness Lodge that's me. Like,
Mhm.
if I were to say what's my favorite thing about Walt Disney World, it's Wilderness Lodge. I am a nut when it comes to Wilderness Lodge. I go on eBay, I hunt down treasures that I can find. I have an old cap that must be from like the late 90s or 2000s that I bought on eBay. And two cast members were like, "Where did you get that hat?" They were like obsessed with it. So, the Wilderness Lodge is just me. So having that one night there was just great. So that, ate at Geyser Point the first night. The bison cheeseburger to me is the best burger on property. So good. But yeah, it was just great having that, that one night we kind of come in, and we lucked out with weather. I don't know how, but for whatever reason, the sun god was, just shining down on us, because the week leading up to the trip, there were torrential downpours hour at a time every single day. The following week was the hurricane. We came in, Mike, rain did not interrupt our trip at all. Like, it was
It
it
was all
was
getting sucked out into Ian way out over by
yeah,
Africa at that point.
yeah,
I had a lot of guests, obviously, that were affected by Ian after
mhm,
you. But
yeah,
what I told them, and this is the truth, if you're ever there during a hurricane, is that if you can be there right after the hurricane passes, that hurricane sucks all the energy right out of the atmosphere in Florida, and you'll have some of the most beautiful weather and
Yeah,
lowest crowds in the parks you'll ever have because everybody's
yeah,
gone and people can't get in, people can't get out. It's amazing, but I mean, it
mhm,
stinks kinda being on lockdown there for a while.
yeah.
I mean, you kinda got now before, it's just kind of a freak of nature kinda thing, but I'm glad it sounds like you guys had good weather
Yeah.
before the hurricane.
We had good weather the entire week, it rained all around us, no matter where we were, at times when we were relaxing, it rained, so, like, we didn't have, like, any issues. It was great. It was awesome. Yeah.
That is
So
awesome. And that's a good way to start too over Boulder Ridge because, Wilderness Lodge, the thing I like too about Walt Disney World, I'm big on the resorts, and every resort kinda has its own personality. Pop Century to me screams energy, right? I mean, it's
mhm.
like there's people doing the hustle, there's games going on at the pool all the time, it feels like, and kids running everywhere, and I like that. I mean, I like 11 o'clock people being crazy still, that's fine with me. But Wilderness Lodge is just chill, right? I mean,
Chill.
you go over there,
Yeah.
it's just like it's relaxing. You have fir trees, you'll see a little bit of a breeze, they'll sway a
Yeah.
little bit. It's chill, and I mean, that's a great way to ease into a vacation.
Oh, it was
It sounds like,
perfect.
that was perfect for you guys, like,
Yeah.
let's land, let's
It
kinda
couldn't
get
have started any better. It was a great we had a phenomenal trip and it started out, perfect. So
Alright, so now overall, like, what was the plan for the trip? Okay, you were there from Saturday to Saturday, so you were
mhm.
there for a solid week. Were you planning on going to the parks every day? Were you planning on going a certain number of days? Like, what was the overall kinda goal? Like, what were you laying out, and how did it kind of unfold?
Yeah, so we did a 4-day hopper, Monday, Tuesday, rest day, Thursday, Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday were our park days. And then, rest day in the middle. We wanted to make sure we got to all the parks. My sister again and my mom have not been in a long time, so we wanted to make sure we got them to see like all the new things, so many new things. So that Saturday when my sister or that Sunday when my sister came in, it was chill. We had reservations planned. And like for lunch, we always wanted to make sure that okay, park time, we want to get in as early as we can. We want to try to keep, our toddlers' schedule the same. So it's like, okay, morning, go to the park, lunch between 11 and 12, like sit down somewhere out of the sun. And then, my wife and I would like go back to the resort, chill out with the baby for a bit. Um, and then, my mom and sister can do with whatever they want. And then, afternoons were free. So we actually left, the afternoon is open to just be spontaneous and kind of figure out, what we want to do. So before we went, that was the overall plan. So
That's a great plan too, because it gives your mom and your sister opportunity to later in the day, "Hey, this kind of tickles our fancy. Let's give this a shot." But in the morning, you're taking advantage of that time where you can get so much done.
mhm.
But you're also that idea of getting out of the sun, getting out of the heat,
Yep.
getting off your feet, getting something good in your bellies, getting some nourishment so you can, get on through the rest of the day and have a little break back at the resort. I mean, you just like to me, I mean, I'm not like an expert at this, but I mean, that's just checking off all the boxes to have a
Yeah.
successful, not only day, but you got to think like the things you do on day one and day two are definitely going to affect day five and day six and day seven, right? You're gonna if you burn the
You
wick too hard early, you just
Mike, you couldn't have said it any better. I'm jumping ahead of myself a bit, but like we learned so much on that first day, that Monday, that first park day going to Epcot, that we kind of changed just how we, you know, did the rest of our trip for like the rest of the days. And I can get into that as well. But yeah, it was being spontaneous and having that ability to kind of zig when you needed to zag, or I forget the phrase I'm trying to say there, but
oh,
kind of just go with the flow and figure it out.
go the other way. Okay, so
Yeah.
here's one I gotta ask you this though, kind of, and then I want to dive into some of your highlights from the theme parks. But I'm just super curious. I mean, your mom and your sister hadn't been there in ages. So what were they saying? Like, what were their thoughts? Because I mean, you and I, a lot of our listeners, like when we say we haven't been there for a while, we're talking like we haven't been there since like January. Like
Yeah.
22. Like minor changes, oh, the Moana
Yeah.
attraction, well, it's really grown up, now there's rocks. But I mean, they
Yeah.
haven't been there, and I mean, I'm guessing Soren wasn't even there at that point,
Nope.
stuff like that. I mean, so like, what were some of the things that maybe that even caught you by surprise that they mentioned or that they enjoyed or that they missed? I mean, tell me about that. I mean, that's got to be a trip.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that, they just kept saying they were, just so excited to get back. I kept asking my mom, like, "Ma, what are you excited about?" She's like, "I'm just excited to, like, kind of be there and, go see
The mom
everything."
answer, I do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is what it
Yeah. My sister had like a big list of all the things that we wanted to get done, and she definitely got a lot of those done. I think one of my favorite moments was, um, she had the same reaction as me after going on Flight of Passage for the first time. We're such big Avatar fans, but I remember just getting off the ride, getting off the, whatever you want to call your Banshee, and just seeing my sister's face, and she's just like, sorry, I'm putting you on the spot, Dorothy, but she's just like crying with emotion. She's just so happy. And then like that's the kind of reaction that you get from that ride. And it was the same one I had when I rode it for the first time. So seeing that was like, that was just awesome. Um, but yeah, I mean, they're just, overwhelmed with everything that was going on, and they just loved it. So
That's good. That's good. Okay, so another thing well, before we do, because I want to ask you about Genie Plus usage because again, that's kind of a hot button topic, especially over the past week. I mean, last week we found out there's dynamic pricing now with Genie Plus, and it could be,
yeah,
depending on the crowds and how busy the parks are, it could cost one thing one day, one thing another day.
yeah,
But I mean, it really, I mean, I'm not trying to defend Disney on this, but I mean, it's the same way with the Cardinals in St. Louis, right? Our tickets when we play against the Pittsburgh Pirates, you can go almost for free because nobody
hmm,
wants to go watch the Pirates and the
yeah,
Cardinals like on a Wednesday. But I mean, if we're playing the Cubs, over on a Saturday night, those tickets are at a premium because everybody wants it's a rival, right? I mean, those seats they're more valuable that night because everybody wants them. So I
hmm,
understand the dynamic price. Everything's dynamic. It's like surge pricing with Uber,
yeah,
right? I mean, it's supply and demand. So,
yeah.
but so anyway, but give me some highlights though of stuff you guys did in the parks that stood out. I mean, fun times you had like that flight of passage memory. I mean, that's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, with the parks, I feel like there weren't, too many highlights. Personally, me, I wasn't in the parks too much. Um, just with the toddler, we kind of, we spent the mornings there. Things just happened so quickly at the parks. I mean, I think a highlight for me was finally seeing Enchantment and Harmonious. It was a whole year since they had been out, and I avoided all spoilers. I never saw it or listened to it. Um, and people are gonna hate me for saying this, but Enchantment's awesome. I loved Enchantment.
I I,
Like,
I like it way better than Harmonious. Way better than
yeah,
Harmonious.
Harmonious was like, was fine, but like, personally, me, I was not a big Happily Ever After fan. It just never connected with me like Wishes did. But watching Enchantment, I made sure I was in the hub. I wasn't worried about like, what was behind me. I just made sure I focused on the castle. That was most important. Um, and I just loved the story, the music, it kind of felt like a movie to me of how they did it. I thought the music was great, the effects and projections were great. I kind of teared up a little bit in the beginning. My favorite part when the balloons were like floating up the castle, and then like Mickey Mouse is holding one of the balloons and he just like drops in the perch. I'm like, that's cool. Like that's awesome. So I loved Enchantment. Harmonious, the barges, they're just not worth having there during the day. So thank goodness they announced that there's going to be something new. So hopefully those things go, but that just kind of ruins the daytime feel of Epcot. But
I keep checking
uh,
eBay, see if there's gonna be like some
yeah, right. Yeah.
taco barges, for
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, but I like everybody's got their different takes, and I
Yeah.
love that about Walt Disney. I don't have to like every nighttime spectacular. It's not going to
Yeah.
be, we're not making this for Mike Roman. We're making this for everybody. And some
Yeah.
things I'm gonna like, and some things I'm not, and I'm 100% fine with that.
Mhm.
This Harmonious didn't connect with me like Illuminations.
Yeah.
Happily Ever After, it took a long time to grow on me. Like I loved Wishes, but then
Mhm.
once Happily Ever After set in, it was because the reason was Mallory loved it. Like, and she would play it every night in the bedroom before bed. And like when your little girl, plays it every night before bed, like as a dad,
Yeah.
you're locked in. Like, I mean, that was it. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm with you. Enchantment didn't feel very much different to me than Happily Ever After. I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
seem that much of a departure from that. So, some of the stories that you put in your notes, I want to make sure we get in because I want to talk some dining here because we
Yeah.
got to talk food on our show.
Yeah. Well, actually, I didn't even mention, the rest of our stay was at Grand Floridian, which
Yeah, we
was
talked about that.
awesome.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
tell us about that though, real quick. So I want to talk about your daughter meeting Anna and Elsa, but really
Yeah.
only really meeting one of them. But no, tell us about that flow real quick.
Yeah, we stayed at the two-bedroom villa over at the Grand Floridian. We were over in the DVC building, and they were so nice. They were just refreshed this past summer. They were gorgeous. We had a lake view. I think the one of the highlights of the trip was, we had a view of the Polynesian, and you could see all the boats coming in, the ferry boats, the boats of the Polynesian. And that was like a highlight for my daughter. She just loved watching the boats going by all the time. She would just want to look out the window and, she can say some words, not sentences yet, but she would just be like, toot, toot. That's what we were like, yo, what do the boats say? And she'd just be like, toot, toot. So, that was really great. We loved it. It made for, I walked to the Polynesian, I think 3 times, 2 or 3 times. I can't remember. I think 3 times. Yeah, 3 times I went over. It was nice over there. Could take the monorail back. We went over the Contemporary a few times. It was nice being on the monorail loop. And just, kind of going around there, checking out the different, drinks, snacks, merchandise and stuff. So, yeah, I think, being in Disney, I just love staying in like Bay Lake and the Seven Seas Lagoon. I think it's just like, when I think of Disney, it's like, I gotta stay over there if I can. So
You're living the life, man. I want to do that someday. I wish I was DVC. Then I'd be jamming out like you. You know what? I'm usually
yeah.
over Pop Century, Riverside, but then I make my way over on the bus. You know what I'm
Yeah,
good.
well, we're thankful. My father-in-law is a DVC member, and he lets the kids have all the points. So thanks for that. So
Better, yeah, totally.
yeah,
Yeah, my father-in-law gives me his old tools, which I'm thankful. Thankful.
he does that for me too.
I
So
know he's a mechanic, so
yeah,
fix anything. I can't fix anything unless it's like
yeah,
on the
I'm
computer.
with you.
Like if it's a computer problem, I'm 50-50 if I can find a YouTube video. I mean, when my Jeep stops running, I'll have a clue. Like I just call John, John, the light's on. He's like,
Yeah,
comes over, boom, hammers on some stuff, and thing runs again. So it's pretty
yeah.
sweet. Okay, speaking of your daughter, though, a couple of stories you had there about your daughter and meeting some characters, both over at Epcot with Anna and Elsa. Sounds kind of funny, but also Topolino's.
Yeah, yeah. It might be hit or miss with characters. You never know how they're gonna react. But my daughter loved the characters, and we didn't get a chance to meet too many, but we did. Anna and Elsa had like a 15-minute wait, so we're like, oh, let's just let's go meet them.
Hey, let me stop you there. When Mallory met Anna and Elsa, because this is when they were very,
Yeah,
very first in the parks. 6 hours my wife waited.
I
6
remember.
hours over Christmas break one time.
Oh, God.
Ridiculous. The craziness. Oh,
Yeah.
my wife is a saint. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Luckily, I saw the line that I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So she doesn't know what Frozen is just yet, but yeah, it was just, it was really funny because if you've never been in that room, they split up Anna and Elsa. So Anna's first, and then Elsa's second. And when my daughter met Anna, she went up to her and was just kind of like pointing and like just happy to see her and interacting with her. They took photos together. And when it was time to leave and go meet Elsa, she like paid no mind to Elsa. She just like she was standing there with Elsa. She just kept looking over at over at Anna, just like, hey, what could we do? Like, how come I can't go back over there? So but yeah, so she just didn't want anything to do with Elsa. So
So, this is a first. So apparently, let's see,
ah,
your sister has joined the chat, as they say.
yeah, hey Dorothy.
And Dorothy's here. She says some of her highlights were definitely Flight of Passage, seeing the Star Wars area, Rise of the Resistance, and enjoyed Epcot and Magic Kingdom's nighttime shows, Guardians, and eating at Be Our Guest.
Yes.
Look at that. We got Dorothy on the show. I mean, thank you, Dorothy. That's awesome. She hopped right in here on the live chat. That is awesome. So very cool.
Yeah,
So I
Her
could imagine probably Rise, something like Rise would blow you away if you haven't been in the parks for, a good 15 years.
Yeah, I had not so in June, I did a short trip in June. That was the first time I rode it. And my sister rode it as well. And yeah, that ride is just was awesome. She came off of it, just, happy as ever. That it's just so cool. It's so immersive. Um, and then, the very top thing of her, she loves Beauty and the Beast. At the top of her list was eating at the, Be Our Guest. I had not eaten there since 2013. I've heard, mixed things about it here and there, but we loved our meal for lunch. Like everything was so good. We had a really good table. We were in like the corner of the ballroom. So like, she had a great view of the entire room. We were all very happy with our meal. It was, it's definitely a pricier meal because it's prefix, but it was fantastic. Loved it. So
So, do you remember what you had? Because I have not eaten at Be Our Guest in ages. I mean, Mallory was little.
yeah.
We loved
Yeah,
it. We get there.
I had the flaming yan. I was like, yeah, I gotta get every dollar's
Yeah,
worth for this. I'm
seriously,
gonna
why
get
not? I mean, yeah, it's prefix. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so the filet mignon was really good. The French onion soup was fantastic. And then yeah, I had like, just like a beer with it as well. And yeah, everyone enjoyed their meals. So
And
yeah.
Dorothy agrees. She says the gray stuff is delicious. Don't believe.
Yeah.
Ask the dishes, of course, of course. And we got to say, rest in peace to this for this was it,
Oh,
not
um,
Agatha Christie.
no, why am I blanking on her name? Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, it's only been all over from Murder She Wrote.
Yes.
Mrs. Potts.
Yeah, I'm blanking. I'm such a movie guy too, and I literally can't remember her name right
I am
now.
so it's been on my tip of my tongue. I've been talking about it here for the last day and a half. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I feel like such a bad podcaster.
Angela Lansbury.
Thank you.
I got
Why
you.
was
My
I saying
Angela
Agatha
Lansbury.
Christie? Like in
Yeah.
my head for some reason. I knew that wasn't right. Yes.
Yeah.
So rest
Yeah.
in peace. Yes, Mrs.
Yeah.
Potts. But man, what a life. 96 years old.
I know.
The
I know.
accomplishments she had, and somebody like that lives on forever in the movies. Like I was
Yeah.
thinking about that. Like that movie, just think how many boys and girls have grown up watching that movie,
Yeah.
like singing her songs.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk more dining though. So you ate some other
Sure.
places. So looking back, like what were some of the better meals besides Be Our Guest?
Yeah. So to kind of like set this up, so we had a lot of reservations set. We had reservations set for Whispering Canyon Cafe, you know, the Grand Floridian Cafe, Rose and Crown, Topolino's, Raglan Road, and Be Our Guest. We set those all before we went. And then, for dinner, we were just trying to figure out what we wanted to do. So what we figured out after day one at Epcot, we are like, okay, what's best for at least, me and my wife and my daughter, go to the parks in the morning, go take a nap, maybe do some pool time or rest, go out to dinner somewhere, like just go out. And then, my mom and sister would come too. And then, maybe go back to the parks at night. So that's kind of what we ended up doing. So then we made reservations. My mom wanted to go to the boardwalk. So we ate at Trattoria El Forno, which is awesome as always. My wife and I, we stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge the last trip that we were at, and we love Sanaa. So we went back this time during the day. It was a 5 o'clock dinner.
So
And, we had
see the animals better that way, right?
yeah,
Right outside.
yeah, yeah, we had and a big tip is if you can, like, go to dinner at 5 o'clock when restaurants first open, because you always get the best table. Like
Yeah.
they'll always give it to you.
And,
So we had a
that's just the right time to eat. I'm just saying,
yeah,
you eat when the old people eat.
yeah.
And
Well, yeah, with the kid now, yeah, with the kid, we eat it with a toddler, we eat at 5 o'clock now every day. So it's like, because she goes to bed by 7. So we always eat that early. But we had a front row seat for Sanaa. So all the drafts and animals were walking by. And then we ate at Citrico's for our last meal. So, and that was Citrico's by far the best meal on the trip. Everything was so delicious. And I have like a little bit of a story. So like one of my highlights of the trip was I actually met for the first time my third cousin. We had been, friends on social media for a long time, but there was a big part of my family that I never really knew or met. And, we have a small age difference between us. But he, hopefully he's okay with me saying this, but he's actually one of the chefs at Victoria and Albert's.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. 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 So he worked there in like the late 2000s. And then, he actually just started working there. So, I messaged him like a month before the trip because I saw him post something. I'm like, are you working there now? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, we're going to be at the Grand Floridian. So, we met up with him, one day during a break, me, my mom and sister, he was at work at like 1 or 2 o'clock, whatever. We met him outside the entrance. Citrico's is right next door. He actually, he was awesome. He actually came out to Animal Kingdom with us for a safari ride and lunch. Then he had to go to work. And he did some really nice things for us while we were there. So one story is, one day a tray was delivered to our room, and it was a solid white chocolate statue of Cinderella. Like, this thing was probably like, I don't want to say a foot tall, but at least 9 inches tall, and
Nice.
like chocolate covered strawberries. And the people at the hotel just said, oh yeah, the hotel is sending this to you. And we're like, oh, I guess like, the Grand Floridian just sending it to their guests these days. But what we found out was my mom and sister and my wife were telling my cousin the story, like, oh no, I sent that to you. The hotel didn't tell you.
Because if you wouldn't have said that, everybody's staying at the Grand Floridian for the next month.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, what day is that Cinderella chocolate?
Yeah.
Guard the door.
Yeah. 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 So that was super sweet of him for sending that. And then, he was working the night. We went to Citrico's, and he, not being biased here, because I love Citrico's best meal, but he hooked us up with like 4 side dishes that came with our meals. Oh man, everything was just fantastic. Like, if you can go to Citrico's, it's definitely like a nicer meal. You don't have to dress up too much. I was in like shorts and a button down shirt. I did see someone with just like a Disney t-shirt on, so you can go that way, but it is like a bit, nicer of a meal. But man, it was just like a perfect last meal to the trip. It was great. So
I'm warning you, because Scott on the show loves that's his jam. He loves Citrico's, and he always raves about the side dishes there. So I'm just saying, like,
Mike, the side dishes were like the best part. Like, the
that's what he
side dishes
said.
were so good.
Exactly
Yeah.
what he says. He always says, he goes, man, Citrico's is good. He's like, but the best part is not the entrees, it's the sides.
Yes.
So I'm telling you what, if all of a sudden you're getting stalked on social media by Scott because you just opened your mouth, man, he's gonna be looking.
Yeah.
He's gonna be looking for your cousin.
Yep. Yeah. The sides were fantastic. So,
Like I said,
yeah. And then Topolino's breakfast, which I forgot to mention before. Topolino's breakfast was awesome. But I wanted to mention was, my daughter loving the character interactions. Like, to me, that was worth the entire price, was seeing the interactions. And so I'm an old school type guy where, I grew up loving Disney because in 1994 we went and we had a home movie, and I watched that all the time. And now what I'm doing is, the year my daughter was born last year, we got a camcorder, and now we use that in like home movie type style. So, I filmed while we were there, like old home movie or like home movies that we would have, and just watching back the footage of just her with the interaction is just awesome. So I'm glad that we have that. So.
I'm confused, but you got a camcorder, like a real, because you have your hand up, like motion, like a
small one. Yeah.
You're not using like a cell phone or anything like that.
No.
Yeah. I like it, man. You are in. You are.
It's just, it's not like we're trying to film all the times, but like,
that's cool.
But it's like, how I remember home movies was like, it's kind of like glimpses into different parts of the year.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, what we did with the trip. It's just like, have some stuff here, some stuff there. So yeah, I only got like about like 50 minutes worth of footage from this last trip, but I just compiled it all to a VHS. I had to get a program to actually burn in the date and the timestamp by using this is getting technical, but by using the metadata of the clips. Because apparently my camera can't do that. Any camera can really do that these days. But so it's nice having those memories.
When you bust that out the camera or the table, half the kids are probably like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
like it a lot. One other thing I want to mention, because I love this is one of my favorite things. It's just a small sliver in your notes, but you had a piece of chocolate cake at the Steakhouse 71 Lounge, which I want
Yeah.
people to know this is an option, but that cake,
Yeah. I'll tell you the story
oh,
behind it.
so good.
Yeah, so here's the fun story. So I had seen I am not actually a big chocolate cake fan. I don't really like cake in general too much. I'll eat it because why not? But chocolate cake is like not my thing. But like, I see it in Park Snacker all the time. It has like five, it has a 5 rating right now with multiple users rating it. So I was like, dang, I gotta check this out. But we weren't gonna eat it. It's only listed at Steakhouse 71, the actual restaurant. So one night it was just my mom and I, we were going to see, we walked over the Polynesian to see if we can get into Trader Sam's. 3-hour wait. We're like, okay, no. So we grabbed a drink over at the Tiki Terrace outside. And then I remember that someone posted about this like cold brew bourbon that was at the Steakhouse 71 Lounge. So we were like, okay, let's just go over there. So we hopped on the monorail, went over to the lounge. Again, this was like 9 o'clock at night. This was late. Um, and we were sitting talking to the waiter, and he's like, "Oh, do you want like any food or anything like that?" I'm like, "Not unless you can get me the chocolate cake." And he's like, "Oh yeah, we can do that." And my jaw dropped. I'm like, you can? Like, you can get that? Because I didn't know you can get it at the lounge.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Mike. So you've had this, right?
I've had that cake. I've had it so
This
the first time I had it was at Top of the World Lounge, and it's the same
okay,
cake, I think, because I've had it also at Steakhouse 71.
okay.
That cake, I mean, I would run through a wall for that cake.
It is it is it is good cake because it's not too rich.
Oh, so
It doesn't feel overly sweet. It's nice and moist. Like, I don't know how they've just concocted the perfect chocolate cake. I don't understand it, but it's so good. So if you don't want to eat at the 71 or Steakhouse 71 restaurant, go to the lounge, grab a drink, get a side of cake, and you're all set to go. So
that's why I love this show, because somebody might not know that, and
yeah.
you can just slide in there
Oh my God,
like you did
Mike,
one night, boom, your life will be changed by this slice of cake, and it's big.
yeah.
I'm just telling you, it's big.
Yeah,
You could share.
it is. Yeah, my mom and I share yeah, luckily my mom was there, so we shared it, and man, this thing was so good. So,
Oh, that is yeah, that's why I had to get it in there, man, because I saw it, I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, the Steakhouse 71 cake." Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple things, because we're running a little tight, but I wanna make sure we get these in. So you
Sure,
mentioned
yeah.
something here in your stories, it just says, "Blackout Stairwell Adventure." So I have no idea what I don't think it's an official thing at Walt Disney World.
No.
What's that all about?
No, it's just like a crazy story that happened. It was we were going to Epcot. My wife was gonna meet us at Epcot that morning. So me, my mom, my sister, and my daughter, we were all leaving our room. Now, when we walked out the door, we noticed that the entire hallway there was no lights on. Our room had power, but for whatever reason, the hallway was like it was dark. There were no lights. We were literally in the middle of the hallway, and so we look one way, the other way, there's just no lights on. When I looked one way towards the elevators, there was the bellhop down there. So we were walking towards the elevator, we're going that way. As we were walking towards the lights turned back on. We're like, okay, the lights, it wasn't like a
Real
total.
quick, it sounds like you're on the Tower of Terror right now instead of
Yeah.
at your hotel, but go ahead.
Yeah. So we get to the elevator, then the power goes out again. The lights turn off, and we were like, "Oh, thank goodness we weren't on that elevator," because we were literally about to take it. I was not ready to, be on. I'm claustrophobic, and actually, one of my fears is being stuck in elevators, which
Yeah,
it has happened to me
I'm
before.
pretty sure people that aren't afraid of it probably don't enjoy it either.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying, I wouldn't like it either. Now you're getting
yeah.
me anxious.
It's not fun. Yeah. This is a story for another time. With my, pledge class for fraternity, there were 23 of us stuck in an elevator one time. Awful experience.
And so,
Anyways,
anyway, on one of the podcast cruises, we saw how many people we could fit into a Disney Cruise Line elevator and took a
don't do
picture.
that.
It's those things are like the size of a shoebox. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get
Don't
you.
do
I
it.
know where you're at. Okay, go ahead. Continue with the
Yeah.
story.
So we were like, all right, well, we have to take the stairs. So we walk down the long, dark hallway. When we open up the stairs, Mike, it's pitch black in there. Like, they don't have any emergency lights at all. I don't know why. I actually went to concierge, and I didn't complain, but I told him, like, you guys need some lights in there. But anyways, So we have the stroller. There's tons of stuff in the stroller. So I didn't want to like fold it all up, take everything out. So we were like, well, we got to get down. We took out our phones. My I'm holding the baby. My wife, we were at the fourth floor, so we had 4 floors to go down. My mom and sister are carrying the stroller down this pitch black hallway. Like, Mike, there was not a single light in there, and I was like, this is the last thing I ever expected to be doing at Disney.
You think? Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah. So we walk out and we're like, all right, well, we made it. So, but it was very surprising for that to happen and there not be any like floodlights in that room. So
It
yeah,
is.
that's just another fun Disney story. So
Something like that always happens on a trip, though. Like, because like you come home, like, oh yeah, that's a trip where we were in the stairwell and it was
yeah,
pitch black. Like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that's the time.
yeah,
So we got, we're just about your mom jumped in though, and she
yeah. My
thanked
mom's
you
here.
because she says, without your planning, everything would have been lost. So she was glad to have that. And everybody needs that point person that
Yeah.
knows, all the ins and outs of Walt Disney World when it comes to the trip. But as we kind of close this up, I mean, there was so much to talk about, and we could go for another hour if we had the time. Like anything else you want to get out there, like another story, another piece of advice for folks that are going down. I mean, you travel with a toddler. We got some of the tips in with schedules and making sure you get a good meal and, dividing up some of the, responsibilities with the child. But, anything else for the good of the cause here as we wrap the show.
Yeah, I think I'll just talk a little bit about just in the future what we'll do with what we learned. As of right now, we're gonna have another kid soon, like I said. I think if we go again, it's just gonna be Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. My daughter was able to go on, 4 of the rides in Epcot, but Epcot is it's way too big to just kind of walk around with kids, having them in the stroller. I mean, people can do as they like, but we just found that it's just not worth going to that park. And especially Hollywood Studios, kids that age just don't have anything to do. But the good thing with Magic Kingdom, there's tons of stuff to do. You can go from one ride to the next. You don't have to walk from one side of the park to the other to get on anything. Animal Kingdom, there's all the animals. And Mike, I've been listening to your show since 2013. And one of the things that's always been like in the back of my head for the longest time when I knew I was going to eventually have kids was they don't care about the parks. They care about the pool.
Right.
Like,
Always here. 100%.
yeah.
True of my kids.
Yeah. I mean, my daughter's 17 months old. And all she wanted to do was she loved the pool. She can't tell us that, but when we went to the pool, getting her out of there was, not easy getting her out of
Yeah,
there.
you're like, please, we just want to go to the Magic Kingdom. Like,
Yeah.
no, I just want to stay in
Yeah.
the Pop Century pool. I'm like, no, it's a square pool. I mean, I
Yeah.
know it looks like a bowling
Yeah.
pin, but let's go
Yeah.
play. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And, I think because of just how we tour, what we're going to do is, if we stay for a week, maybe 3 days in the parks, 2 days at Magic Kingdom, 1 at Animal Kingdom, just spend the rest of the time, eat it. We love eating, going to the pool, relaxing, just kind of making it like a chill vacation. We don't need to go bouncing around from, park to park. We bought Park Hopper because, we were trying to plan for, maybe going to Magic Kingdom more because we were in Grand Floridian. Unfortunately, wasted money there, Mike. We didn't park hop at all.
Oh,
I think it was really also because of that 2 PM
yep.
like rule now, which I think that's what kind of really screws it up. That's a whole nother conversation. But overall, it was just, an amazing trip. There was so much so much that we did. And it was just, just a wonderful time, just, getting down there.
Okay.
So
Piggybacking on that though about the tickets, did you guys use Genie Plus at all, or did you make it without it? How was that?
Mike, whatever the price is, I'm always going to buy Genie Plus. I'm one of those people.
Here's the thing. You say that, and I don't know exactly what you're going to say after this, but here's the thing. I get both sides of it, right? I still have
Yeah.
not bought it at World. I have bought it at Disneyland because I don't go to Disneyland. I've only been there once. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm paying whatever it costs because I've only been
Yeah.
here once. I want to do it right. And I want to have the key word for me with Genie Plus is advantage, right?
Mhm.
If I want to have every advantage I can have at Disneyland, because that was my special trip. When I'm at Walt Disney World, I get down there more frequently, for these race weekends and so forth. So I don't really worry about if I get on a certain attraction that often as I would at Disneyland. So, but
Mhm.
if you're going down there for your big vacation, if you don't get it, you're okay. but you are putting yourself at a disadvantage against
Mhm.
some people. So go ahead though.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I see it.
No, the old saying, "Time is money,"
That's it.
and I don't wanna waste time waiting on a line when I could be doing other things, snacking or whatever. Like, it could literally could be anything, walking to the next ride, you're just saving yourself time, and we only go once a year. We're probably not going back till 2024 now, so it's like, even then, it's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna waste time," especially with the limited time that we had in the parks. You know, we we must have saved at least, 2 hours a day. And, to me, that's worth it. We definitely use it for, many, many rides. I'm luckily, I know the ins and outs of everything. So we kind of figured it all out easily. But yeah, I'll always get it. People, if you don't want to get it, you don't have to. I totally understand. But time to me, time is money. So
No, 100%. Yeah, I get it. I
yeah.
mean, and that's what I like though, is that everybody does have an option. I mean, like, will I be at a disadvantage against people that have Genie Plus when I'm down there in November? Yeah, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna be solo. Like if
Yeah.
I had a 17-month-old, and I was standing in line, dude, I'd be buying it, because I do not want to have to deal with like
Yeah.
lines
Mike,
at a small job.
the
There's no way. Like, but it's by myself. Like, I'll play
yeah.
on my phone and save my money. It's just
Yeah, Mike, the longest line we waited on was the, 15 minutes. Oh, sorry, I should say the longest line we waited on with my daughter was for 15 minutes for with Anna and Elsa. It's not easy trying to get a toddler to stand still for that
I
long.
remember.
So, I'm happy that we had the fast pass, we got in and out, and we were good to go. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's not easy.
I've seen kids around me in lines where I'd be like, "Can I buy Genie Plus for your family just so you can go, just get in the other line? Your kid's kicking me in the shins."
Yeah.
No, so but hey, this has been fun. I mean, we got to talk some snacks, some resorts, some getting stuck in
Yeah.
stairwells and, almost Tower of Terror, over there. So, been a lot of fun. So where can people check out everything you're doing and keep up with everything you've got going on?
Yeah, so my main social media platform, you could find us at Park Snacker over on Instagram. I am on Twitter and Facebook. You could find all of our links over at parksnacker.com. You could download the app right from there. I also have a podcast, the Park Snacker Pod. If you want to hear a longer version of my trip report, the previous episode was me talking about it. There's even, more things I didn't get to over there. But those are the main things. And if you're on Park Snacker, the app, follow me at Park Snacker Matt, and you can see, everything that I got to eat between this trip and then in June that I went as well. So
All right.
yeah.
Hey, man, appreciate you hopping on and sharing this trip with us because it's been a lot of fun talking about it. And of course, we'll do it again after the next trip. I always appreciate having you on the show.
Yeah, 2024. Look out, we're coming.
We'll keep trucking and we'll have another one. So,
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll have 2 kids by then.
oh
So
my gosh, man, strap in. Two is
yeah,
a crazy ride. Mine were
yeah,
11 years apart, thank God, so
yeah,
that
yeah.
was
They'll be 2 years. Yeah, they'll be 2 years. Yeah, just
wait,
shy of 2.
see the way we looked at it, it was like two only children, because they both thought they were only kids. And then
Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy. So good luck on that. And if I
thank
don't
you.
see you, happy holidays this season because we probably won't
For
talk.
sure. You as well, Mike. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Anytime. All right. Don't forget to check us out over at the Magic for Less Travel. They sponsor our shows, themagicforless.com. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip. Check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do here on the show. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a sincere thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest podcast. You help support everything we do here to put out 3 to 4 shows a week, every week, all around the world. Couldn't do it without you. And our patrons get that 5th show, that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. If you'd like to join us, we'd sure love to have you. Come on over, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Join Scott and myself this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. It's the BOGP open line, but Scott likes to call it you, me, and Scotty G. So either way, give us a call Sunday night. We turn the show over to you. We open up the phone lines and talk about anything you want to talk about. You want to talk about dynamic pricing with Genie Plus? That's kind of a hot topic button we could talk about. What are your thoughts on that? We could talk about the return of Phantasmic here in the next
Yes,
few weeks.
November, Mike. Sorry to
Yes,
interrupt.
I
November.
know it probably won't happen when I'm down there because I love Phantasmic. It'll probably be the end of November because by the beginning,
Probably.
but I love some Phantasmic, hence the
Yep.
beginning music for our
I
podcast.
wish it was there when I was there. I was
Ah,
banking on September, but
yeah, seriously, let's make it happen soon. But yeah, so we could talk about anything you want Sunday night. So join us at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We're always live on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, you can connect with me on the social media as well. Be Our Guest Mike, Instagram and Twitter. All right, time to get out of here and let's get on with your week. Thanks so much for hanging with us and starting another week. Let's make it awesome. So for Matt, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Monday. Time to get back to work. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Thanks, Matt. That was awesome.
yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me
Always
on.
count on you. Good sound, good stories, good everything.
Yeah, I try. I try, I try to deliver when I'm here.
You
So.
got it, man. You bring it. That's cool. I have to catch
Yeah.
up with you sometime. We're down there. That'd be fun. 24.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah. And if you ever need a pinch hitter, I could talk about my short June trip if you ever need, like, because you had the cancellation last week. I have all my notes for that, so I can easily hop on and create another episode for you if you need.
I
So.
will, or we could just talk about some topic too. Because you could talk about probably anything Disney too. So
Yeah, I'm good. I used to be able to catch you on the Sunday night shows, just with family stuff now. It's always just so tough to even tune
too,
in.
I hate doing them during football season too. Like
Mm.
I want to just quit doing them during football season, but I can't. I feel
Mike,
bad about
you can though. You can.
that. I feel bad. Like once dude, I'm all in. When I do a
I
time,
know, I hear you. Yeah,
when I do something like with running, I'm all in. That's why my knee is about to fall off my leg because I just
Oh,
ran
jeez.
every day, too many miles. Like
Yeah.
that's just my personality.
No, I hear you. I get it. Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, you take care. And again, congratulations and good luck on the next little one, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So
Yeah.
if it's another girl, whew,
It is.
man.
It is.
Oh
It
my
is another girl. Yeah.
God, look out. Two girls.
I'm really excited. I'm one of those, I think I'm one of the few people, like few dads who I didn't really, I would have loved the son, but like, I'm not disappointed, that we're not having a son.
I'm the same way.
So,
Like
yeah.
I'm totally glad that because I don't know what I would do with a son, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
because Pam takes care of like all the girls, I love being a girl dad. But the thing is,
Yeah.
like, dude, when they teenage years, oh man, just saying. It
Yeah,
gets
that's a problem for future Matt. I
yeah,
have
exactly,
a
dude.
ways to go.
You'll lose your hair. Oh wait.
Oh,
Your hair will turn gray like mine. Just wear a hat.
yeah.
Just kidding, man. All right, I'll
Yeah.
see you. I'm gonna edit this thing up and get it out there. I appreciate you. You have a good
All
week.
right. Yeah, you too.
All
See you, Mike.
righty. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.